Hey, what's going on? It's your boy, the number one Wraith enthusiast, man. And we're here trying to figure out exactly what's going on in this latest patch. We seem to have figured out that Wraith might be dead, right? Not in lore, but at least as far as the gameplay is concerned. So, if you do like the content that will be coming up quite shortly, please do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it to your friends, subscribe, things of that nature. Um, yeah, let's get straight into it. Now, on the far left here, we have the Reddit thread that Blood Mortius, one of the senior game designers, that he posted on. What was this? Or when was this? Might have been a few days ago now, as of the time that you're seeing this, or it could have been however long. I'm not sure. But here on the right, we have the most important changes in this entire patch. Yes, it's the newest patch, as you can see. The neon, new hero, Daybreak, the new map, ranks news, yada yada, blah 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 blah. I don't care. We're here for Wraith, right? Okay. So all this is a bunch of yada yada. We're not worried about this entirely. I'm just going to be real. Sonar drones now grant persistent vision in their 1,000 unit radius instead of every few seconds. So, formerly, your vision ward pulsed every few seconds and would spot some. If it spotted someone, it would pulse. If it spotted a ward past level 6, it would spot and pulse the vision on the ward so that you could clear it. But after it pulsed, you would not be able to see the ward. So now granting persistent vision it's a buff. It is. But the problem is that your wards are very easily clearable. The the difference is you get more of them. So it's nice. I hate it. I wish it would just go away. Like, he deserves an actual passive that is worth using. I mean, like, we're not just gonna sit here and play the comparison game between his passive and someone like Skylar's passive. Kira got a passive rework as well that helps her clear waves faster. Meanwhile, Wraith is getting. We'll get to it. So we've got basic attack scaling increased on both sides, bonus physical power scaling from 80 to 90, and total magical power scaling from 15 to 25. I don't care. This is what I'm looking at. So, let's start from the top. Peekaboo, primary, your grenade. Damage decreased from 60 to 80 to 100 to 120 to 140, all the way down to 20 to 35 to 50 to 65 to 80. So it's now 80 damage base at max level. You were getting 80 base damage at level 2. You're now only getting access to 80 base damage to that at level 5, which is probably the second ability you're maxing, if I'm honest. It's the second ability I'm maxing, if I am even touching this godforsaken game. Bonus physical power scaling, again, bonus physical power scaling and total physical power scaling are night and day differences. From 40 to 60, okay, cool, whatever. Mark max health damage increase from double at level 1. So 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5 to 6% max level, max rank, to 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10 at max rank. Cooldown decrease, I mean, I'm happy to see it, but level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4, cooldown is reduced. At level 5, it's the same 9 seconds. It's going to make it more consistent early. The problem is early you may or may not have mana, depending on how you're playing it. Surprise, surprise, cost increased from 40 mana flat to 70 mana at all ranks. That is not a minuscule change. That change is not minor. 30 mana at all ranks. So at level 1, instead of the 40 mana I'm used to spending on pressing surprise, surprise, whether it be for movement, whether it be to reposition, whether it be to get myself out of dodge, is now going to 70 mana. Not to mention the cooldown increased from 14 to 24 seconds at level 1. Mind you, if you take a look at max level, which you're probably not getting until level 18, it's at 16 seconds at max level. It's 14 seconds here at level 1. The change is not minuscule. At some points, it won't be worth it to press surprise, surprise, because it's 70 mana that we're not getting back until, depending on your mana regen, anywhere from like 25 to 30 something seconds. Now it's time for the big guns. Actually, we'll skip that. We'll go down to back it up. Back it up cooldown increased. 5 seconds, 5-second increase at level 2, and 10-second increase at level 3 comparatively to the last patch. It's not the end of the world, if I'm honest. But here we go. Firstly, Knock Knock no longer pierces terrain. We'll get into that here. Damage decrease. Now, this by itself looks awful if you're just looking at the numbers. But you have to also take this third dash into account, this third bullet into account as well. Magical power scaling increased. We love to see that. The minion damage modifier, we like to see that. So we don't like to see the base damage decreased, but we couldn't have these base damage numbers with 125 total physical power scaling. I don't think that would be legal. Yeah, I don't think that would be okay. Me personally. So here's the point of contention. Wraith Knock Knock, which in every iteration of the game has pierced terrain. The devs, the genius devs, the very, very intelligent devs with Omega City have decided it should no longer pierce terrain. I have my own thoughts on that. I'll get into that in more depth as I go through the Reddit thread. The scaling change, the difference from bonus physical power to total physical power, is a huge buff. Magical power scaling just buffed by 15%. I mean, that's total magical power. That's great. Minion damage modifier increased from 170 to 200%. We love to see that. We love to see that. So those pesky ranged creeps that you could not last hit with your snipe from full HP, at times in the game where every other mage is one-shotting almost every minion with maybe 1-2 abilities. The fact that you weren't able to one-shot snipe these minions, these ranged creeps in the backline from full HP, felt absolutely ludicrous. So this change will allow you to do that. Now for the nerfs. Cooldown refund from hitting marked targets changed from set to 1 second to a 65% refund. Now, we can do a bit of math. We can look at the ability haste items. We can look at your build and at what point in the game you'll be getting access to some of these items, what level you'll be. We could go into the nitty-gritty of it if you'd like, but this isn't for the nerds. This is strictly for, the algorithm, the Wraith content, and for the devs. And if they want to talk about it, I mean, I'm by all means, I'm all ears, and I have plenty to say as well. 65% refund, and this is not mana. This is now. I hope that y'all are not getting that. This is the cooldown refund. So instead of sniping a marked target, and I did confirm this with Blood Mortius while he was live in some streamer's chat, I can't remember who. This also occurs for killing targets. So last hit sniping a minion with something like Sniper's Bounty is changed from a set 1 second to a 65% refund. Again, another very essential part of Wraith's kit and his identity as a champion and as a hero, not just in Predecessor, but in all of the IPs that have used Paragon's heroes and likeness. In every iteration, that has been the case. It is a jarring change. If you ask me, do I like it? The answer is no. I want to say this very clearly. I don't use words like love and hate very willy-nilly. It's not I feel like words have power. So there are things I like, there are things I enjoy, there are things I dislike, there are things that I would rather not do. This is one of those things where I feel that the word hate is necessary to truly grasp at my honest to God feelings. I hate this change. So first, they take away my ability to pierce terrain, which in the argument they make, they mentioned that you're unable to counterplay from behind a wall. Granted, Wraith is not the only character to have the ability to pierce walls, the ability to pierce terrain with a basic ability. He is not the only one. And granted, things like Murdoch Buckshot and Bellica Stun both pierce terrains, and it feels very cheap when they do. Granted, Murdoch Buckshot comes from a literal gun. It is not some force of magic. It is a gun. It is a shotgun. The range on it is quite small, or is quite short, but it is an AoE ability that can hit multiple targets from behind cover, from behind terrain. With the correct positioning and fighting in the right places, you can get some very cheap buckshots off. Same thing for Bellica Knockup, except hers is literal hard CC. Are we serious? But no, we're still gonna let that go through terrain. Sure. Decker laser. Decker, what is it? Photon, whatever. Decker's primary ability just acts as if the terrain isn't there. But what do I know, man? I just play the game. I'm a Wraith one trick or whatever. Cooldown increased. These early levels, hitting this 7.5 second mark at level 3 snipe feels very good. It feels very good. You're going 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. You're at 7 seconds at max rank snipe, which is the ability that you are maxing first, seeing as And I hate that I have to continue to stress that this is in fact the case. This is your one damaging ability, right? We're not delusional in thinking like, oh no, we can trade basic attacks with the best of them. Let's get real. Sparrow, Murdoch, Kira, Skylar. Need I say more? Not to mention Grim in this latest update. Let's stop that nonsense. You're not playing Wraith because you want to spell weave and basic attack. If you wanted to spell weave and basic attack, play Twin Blast. If you wanted to just hold left click, play Sparrow. Like what? Hell, play Skylar. I mean, there are other options for players who are looking for the basic attacking carry fix. Wraith is not it. So it is his one damaging ability. Granted, it is augmented heavily, especially now, by his grenade. Or by his peekaboo, excuse me. However, it is his one damaging ability. So if this isn't his one damaging ability, I mean, you're probably leveling up, putting a second level into peekaboo before you're able to max out snipe your knock anyway. So you're at 35 base damage. You mean to tell me he has more than just the one damaging ability? You're actually delusional, and I think you need to read. You need to pick up a book, not Dr. Seuss, and not a picture book. Just pick up a book from the library and read. Any book will do, actually, even Dr. Seuss, because that would be a step up from the level of intellect that you're showing me by saying, oh no, Wraith actually has two damaging abilities. Like, let's just get real. I wanted to come to y'all and change up the attitude of the video a bit. I see that I was a bit mean-spirited and quite negative throughout this video. And I just wanted to, come to you guys and thank you for watching the video this far. There's still plenty of video after this. We are going into the Reddit thread posted by Blood Mortius himself, the senior game designer. At least that's what his title card says on the Twitch live stream. So once again, thank you all. I do appreciate your patience with me, and I do want to come here and give a bit of we'll call it a cameo, to have a discussion with you guys directly. Wraith has one damaging ability. Sure, giving him more damage is great. Sure, the people that are complaining about it piercing terrain have a valid point because it's a part of it was a part of how they learned to play Wraith. I'm not mad at that. However, he didn't need it. He didn't. It was a thing that he could do, but it was a thing that most champions can do. I say most. Let me not stretch. There are a good amount of champions that have abilities that go through terrain or ignore it. Because that's what Wraith Snipe does. It ignores terrain. It's not like oh man, it's gonna pierce through terrain. There is no interaction between Wraith Snipe and terrain. And you can only see them if you have them marked or if you have vision on them. So his passive being a ward, and we'll get to that fucking dog shit passive. His passive being a ward allows him to spot some people on the pulse, so that he can better aim his shots and not just shoot blind. Granted, the good Wraith players that I've come into contact with track the players rather than utilize just having them on vision. They're tracking their movement. It does work in, I would say, up to about plat, and then after that, people are starting to, let's say, become more aware of their ability to actually just be shot through a wall. So sure, take his terrain pierce away. Hell, honestly, take it away for good. I didn't need it. I don't need it. However, my problem comes when you mention that he no longer gets his snipe reset to 1 second after hitting a marked target or killing a unit. How else is he supposed to push the wave? Mark lasts 3.5 seconds by design. You can't make Mark last any longer because Mark reveals targets. So you can't make it last longer. I get that. But you also need to give him that 1 second reset back. I'm not joking. It's actually, if you are a Wraith player like me who focuses around the one damaging ability he does have that gives you the extended range to play a sort of poke damage oriented until you can just poke, and now you can poke all in. Now you can poke, and then you're dishing out your full combo. Chances are you might hit both snipes every now and again. Mark, snipe. You might hit that maybe once every 3-4 combos. The devs at Omega have taken away what I believe is more essential than him piercing terrain. The most essential part of his kit, which is the reward for hitting a marked snipe, is you now have snipe up again. Congratulations. You've done a great job. Here's your snipe back. Because we can't give you a 100% mana refund. That would be broken. I'll admit. Would I love that? Absolutely. It means I could go back to running Rogue's Crest Ortis every game. Rogue's Crest Witchstalker every game. Yes. More damage, more better, more gooder. You feel me? But no. That would be broken, and I understand that. So, we as Wraith players have evolved. We've started running Magician's Crest. We need the mana, and then y'all just go out, man. You know what? These guys, they're learning. Let's go ahead. Minus 10 at all levels. Minus 10 mana cost at all levels. You mean to tell me my level 1 snipe is 40 mana? Yo, why am I even running Magician's Crest? But then you go and do something like this. And dare I say, it hurts my heart. Anything I ever could have asked for, I couldn't have ever dreamed or had a nightmare about something like this. Snipe reset is his thing. It is the reward that, we'll go on to see Blood Mortius Reddit thread, and he wants it to feel masterful and feel like a pro. But you feel like a pro from hitting the marked snipe in general. I was doing that shit on instant cast. So yeah, bitch, I felt like a pro. Because, bitch, I'm doing it to you guys. With instant cast snipe, by the way. Every time you see me in game. Wraith buffs, please. Better Wraith wins. Captain Slap-a-Ho. Excuse me. Captain Slap-a 304. That's me. Hitting your ass in the mid lane, in the bot lane. Hell, sometimes in the solo lane. Hell, I played a game of Wraith jungle. With instant cast snipes. That's me. Doing your ass the worst way and clipping it. I apologize. So, I say all of that to say, yeah, every time I do that, I do feel like a pro. Especially that Iggy. Oh, you scumbag. You scumbag. You scum of the earth. You're worst. You're the worst of the worst. Regardless. That was what made it feel rewarding, was getting that snipe reset. To get that target that's fleeing, they use their blink. I love to watch them fucking squirm. And then I just hit them anyway because I'm tracking their movement. They're jumping up and down. They're jumping up and down. They think they're a fucking kangaroo. Oh my god. What goes up must come down. Bang. Why don't you try letting someone else kill you for a change? Knock, knock. I could just go voice line for voice line all day, but that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to say he needs snipe reset. It's a part of his kit. Seeing as he has one damaging ability, give it back. Give it back now. 65%. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Give it back. Thank you. Now, let's take a look at the Reddit thread. Hey everyone, yada yada, blah blah blah. First off, I completely hear the feedback. Don't, play it in game before you judge it too harsh. Yeah, whatever. We are completely open to talking about reverting the change in the coming patches. Do you know when the next patch is coming out? I don't. Could be 2 weeks, could be a hot fix happening in, 2 days. Who knows? Counterplay. Hitting knock knock consistently is hard, and you should feel rewarded, amazing, and like a pro for mastering it. Hitting knock knock consistently is not hard. What's hard is learning that Wraith does not play like any other champion. He does not have access to the wave clear of most mages, nor does he have access to the high attack speed or attack speed steroid of most AD carries. He's I wouldn't even call him a middle ground. He's just somewhere on that spectrum. There's no fault in that. We don't want to hurt that. You already have. The issue is that as players improve, the options to counter Wraith practically disappear. This is actually false. Wraith can only do what he does. That's it. Wraith can only do what he does, right? So since all Wraith can do is what he does, his champion, his identity, is marking someone, marking multiple targets, sniping said targets, ulting and rewinding a high priority target, or rewinding a jungler out of an objective fight. If it's not Chimera who has a cleanse in his kit, or some other jungler who has a way to, make Wraith ulti not work. Who is that? Bale. I want to say that Zarus ulti can deny Wraith ult. Wraiths back it up. Among others. Not to mention the fact that they can just build cleanse off of their crest. So that's not true. That's just not true. And all this sentence tells me is they don't play Wraith. So now, I know this now, but now you guys know this too. He has massive range, and as much as you can surprise him around corners like other ranged heroes, Wraith has a passive that can also prevent that, plus an ultimate that provides incredible self-peel. Incredible self-peel is a stretch. Any assassin worth their salt that is going to surprise him around corners is absolutely going to just 100-0 this guy if he doesn't have blink. Sereth, as long as the Sereth is willing to hold her Master Yi Alpha Strike-like ability, she can completely negate Wraith ulti, which is denying him his incredible self-peel. Wraith has a passive that can also prevent that. Are we deadass talking about the wards right now? Are we talking about Sonar Drone? What do you mean? So you mean to tell me now Wraith is the only champion that has wards? Are we serious? We're not, brother. Blood Mortius is a senior game designer. I'm actually getting hot. So we're not going to make the argument that Wraith has a passive that can also prevent being surprised around a corner, as if no other champion has access to wards. We're not going to do that. That's not happening here. That's not what we're doing here. That's not the sort of game that we're going to be playing. Thank you very much. Range and speed are the hardest things to balance in a MOBA. Yeah. As a sniper, we absolutely didn't want to decrease his reach. So, what is this? Knock knock, range decrease. But you just said as a sniper, we absolutely didn't want to decrease his reach. It's a bit odd. Whatever. We felt it even more important to his identity. So you want snipes to hurt more, but you don't want us to snipe as much. Snipes can hurt more as long as you're not sniping as much. That's what we got from that. Okay. Okay. It's very fair to disagree this point over the wall, Pierce. It's very fair to disagree any of the points because you don't play Wraith. So ultimately, I feel like you shouldn't be making any of the points. You're just the one that made the Reddit thread, so you're on the chopping block. But we can go back to the patch notes and just look to see who's in these patch notes at the bottom. Let's just scroll all the way to the bottom. See who's credited for these, or who's thanking us for reading. Until next time, Ray and Omeda Zuzu. Game design and community at Omeda Studios. So we've got names, right? Why are you congratulating me for reaching the end? I want to punch my monitor after seeing something like this. So whoever this is, community at Omeda Studios, whoever these people are, I need names. Because we got game design, and then if you go to Predecessor Games' most recent stream, it's the reveal of Neon's gameplay, and they revealed a couple of the hero reworks. Not all, but a couple of them. Chimera and Acheron are both manaless now. I feel like that's a great change, because Eden wasn't a good enough example of why manaless heroes are. This game was not ready for them, ultimately, but that's not what we're here for. However, it's fine, it's whatever. Narbash got a rework, yeah. So we had to provide another way for players to deal with him. Utilizing cover now gives high-level players a way to avoid being chipped down without actually killing him. Why wouldn't they kill him? Like, what? Why wouldn't you just kill Wraith? What? I mean, that's the counterplay. The counterplay is he can't push the wave. You shove the wave into him perma. If he decides to stand back, you're able to move around the map and make changes to the states of the lane. That's it. Have any of these developers ever played Wraith ever? Don't answer that, because it's gonna make me depressed. Much like snipers or long-range poke in many other games. Y'all do know that he's not the only long range poke champion. Right? Whatever. Win rate. You might be thinking his win rate isn't even good. Why add more counters? His win rate isn't good because people play him that don't know what the hell they're doing. That has nothing to do with it. Truth is, we haven't been able to tune Wraith properly for years, and it shows because you don't play the champion. Whenever we pushed his strength up to get him near a normal win rate, he absolutely dominated high level and competitive play. Oh, go figure. It's hard to balance a champion when you don't play the champion. Genius. This forced us to intentionally keep him weak. Is that so? Which made him way less enjoyable for the vast majority of the player base because they suck at playing Wraith. Just to protect the competitive scene. And did you protect it? You just made it a not pickable pick. We want to fix that by gutting his entire kit. Okay. Compensation buffs. So basically, he's getting compensation buffs. That's what this is. These are compensation buffs. That's what this 200% is because you can't reset. Because you can't reset, you can't snipe reset anymore. It's a compensation buff. Hi. Okay. We tested this patch extensively across internal, wider, and competitive test groups. Yeah, alright. I'll be honest, our competitive testers had the same exact initial reaction as Reddit and the majority of the internet that was looking at this stuff. They thought he was dead. No, they played him and realized that they could no longer reset snipe, and not only were they getting pushed in hard already, but now they're getting pushed in even harder and can't snipe the enemy mid as they're running away to go absolutely 3v2 your bot lane because you're stuck dealing with now five minions, 2 melee creeps, and you might miss, like you could potentially miss one. But after playing a few games with the new Wraith, that completely changed. Yeah, you're coping. He has not underperformed mainly due to the fact that we increased damage on Knock Knock, which is especially noticeable in the context of the new patch. Yeah, sure it is. You know why it's noticeable? Because of this. Because of this. Yeah, it's noticeable. Do you think that upping the numbers and decreasing health pretty much across the board is gonna make snipe less damaging? Are we serious? What did you think was gonna happen, genius? He's no longer just untouchable or instantly dead. He can actually reciprocate damage now in closer range scenarios where he previously would have just been stat checked in a way that feels unfair to himself. Example, he's got level/item leads or a big health lead and still loses when someone W keys. He will still lose to someone who W keys, by the way. He has no hard CC. So, good luck trying to contest Sparrow ult. Oh, what do you mean? Sparrow just... Wait, she has cleanse, so now I can't ult her? Oh. I'm gonna blink. Oh, she just blinked after me. And, oh. Yeah, that stealth that everyone is complaining that, oh, Wraith is such a rat champion. Yeah, she gets that true invis every time she presses her attack speed steroid. That's so good. I love that so much. Anyway. He is no longer just untouchable or instantly dead. What other middle ground is there? He's not going to sit and box with you. He loses that. Is he untouchable? You could argue that. Or is it just a skill issue? But y'all aren't ready for that conversation. He still leans on his long range poke, but now he has to use his stealth. The stealth that now costs 70 mana. And info gathering tools, you mean the sonar drones. Just like everyone else has wards? Okay. To create his own angles. What do you mean? Do you mean find a way to get from the tip of my barrel, the barrel of my gun, the barrel of my sniper, to anywhere on the enemy's body as long as there's no terrain in between? Okay, what about the verticality? I mean, that's the thing. Is what he needs is like Decker double jump. He can have a regular ward. Since he can't snipe through walls, he can have a regular ward. But I don't know why I'm recording this at 4:30 in the morning, but this is when it's happening. Yeah, he doesn't need the ward passive. If you want to keep him having this passive ward, being one of the very few champions, I want to say that he is one of now 2 champions to have a unique vision trinket. Neon in one of her augments has I think it's called Docs, that allows her to basically become a sonar drone pulse for, like, I think it's instant, but it goes quite far. To be able to see people through walls, by the way. That's so crazy. Whatever. What about other abilities that pierce walls? It's a totally fair question. The difference comes down to the context of the kit. Most abilities that ignore walls, like cone AoEs, what about a laser? Shout out Decker. Are much shorter range. I don't know how much shorter range Decker laser is. Just saying. And can hit multiple targets. Whatever. Much shorter range, have longer cooldowns, deal less damage. Decker only deals less damage because she doesn't have damage items. She's not normally building them. But she's doing more, like, you could put 5 champs in a back-to-back line. And Wraith Snipe would only hit 1. And Mark only lasts 3.5 seconds. So you're not even able to hit multiple targets with 1 grenade now. It's doomed. Knock Knock is his primary damaging ability with massive range. Y'all keep using these words. Massive, incredible, untouchable. It's quite a stretch. Which is what makes it feel so overwhelming. Brother, he has 1 damaging ability. What do you want from him? What do you mean is his primary damaging ability? It's his only damaging ability. Are we dead ass? If Bellica stun, we're not talking about Bellica stun. Sure, it goes through walls, and it shouldn't. Did more damage, had a lower cooldown, shot from a mile away. We'd have to change that too. Though she's also one I'd low-key prefer not to... Like, so even you are saying this. TLDR, we hear your frustrations. We heard the exact same things in testing before it was tried. We really hope that... Oh, okay, shut the fuck up.